I am very, very excited to introduce these three wonderful agents. They're not just agents, they are top producers all in their own right. They're also top attractors within our organization. So let's give Jaybee, Rob, and Cathy a round of applause. All right, you guys got the mic, so you kind of just pass it amongst one another now that we're sanitized. So the first question here, as a top producer, what attracted you to EXP the most?
So for me, it was, I've been a top producer for about 16 years, and I realized that as much as I worked very hard, but year over year it was a hustle, and I had no exit strategy. So EXP gave me the opportunity to have an exit strategy and also to help agents while doing that.
And I heard you say outside, you were happy, you were content at your brokerage, you were not looking for a
I was very
change.
happy, was not really looking to move, but an opportunity presents itself, yeah, you just do it.
Awesome.
For me, it was the potential to be on 100% split. Talking about just making the call, I had some friends from Lake of the Ozarks that repeatedly kept calling, trying to take me to lunch. I had been with Cole Baker, I guess we can say names. I had been with Cole Baker for 20 years. I had no intention of ever leaving. They wouldn't stop calling. So I was like, I'm going to lunch.
I need steak and lobster.
Yeah. And so I went to lunch, and I literally left the lunch thinking, this is what I have to do. At the time, I thought, I was 45 years old, assumed I had 20 years of work left in me. Selling 40 plus million a year at Coldwell Banker means that you're paying them almost $200,000 a year to be part of Coldwell Banker. So for me, thinking 20 more years, even if, so I'm from Missouri, which means I'm not going to believe half the stuff you tell me. So I
That's the whole
figured,
Missouri group over there.
even if it was only half right, and I was going to save $100,000 a year, 20 years, that's $2 million bucks. I'm going to move for $2 million. I didn't understand the rev share because it was totally foreign to me. I didn't believe the stock thing was anything, which I'm a firm believer now. I mean, it's crazy. Talk about life-changing.
You have your fair share, right?
I have more than my fair share. I'm very appreciative of people like Micah that made the call. But for me, the reason was to be on 100% split, which is probably the least important thing now that I've been in it for 2.5, almost 3 years. The 16,000, that is nothing compared to all of the other opportunities that the company provides. And it was just that I didn't understand or didn't want to understand all the other avenues of income that EXP allows. I was concentrating on what I knew, and for me what I knew was I didn't want to pay Coldwell Banker hundreds of thousands of dollars when I could be at EXP for free.
Absolutely. You guys see how that shifted? It went from how much money I can save to how much money can I make now.
Right.
Do you see the difference?
Yeah. I started out a Coldwell Banker franchise as well. I went to Keller Williams because I was interested in having multiple streams of income. Tried to do that at my Coldwell Banker company, but it wasn't working. So went to Keller Williams with the dream of opening up some market centers, doing more than just selling real estate. Keller Williams situation fizzled out. 60 of us defected and opened a boutique company, and I was supposed to be an owner there. Ended up that I was not an owner. It was fine. As it all turns out, it was fine. I stayed there for 5 years anyway, and at the time, it was, I don't know, it was September maybe, August, and I was thinking to myself, great, January's coming again, and I get to do this all over again next year. I get to start in January, and if I don't sell a house, I don't make any money. So, like Rob, I'm thinking, what do I have, 20 more years of this before I have to do this for 20 more years? So I was like, if I'm gonna work 7 days a week, 24/7, crazy schedule. I might as well just go back to corporate America. So I was literally interviewing at some major corporations in St. Louis, thinking of taking a job, living in St. Louis but working on the West Coast. So I would fly out Sunday and come back Thursday night. And that would be my lifestyle. And it was for a lot of money and a ton of stock and benefits and all of that stuff. And then I found out about EXP. And it was an answer to everything, because the boutique company that I was working for did not have any revenue share, had no opportunity for multiple streams of income. It was just a traditional, old-fashioned real estate company. And so when I learned about EXP, it took me a little while, because I was afraid to make another move, but I did it, and I've never looked back. Never been happier.
I like how you switched traditional to old-fashioned. Are you an owner now?
What's that?
Are you an owner now?
I am an owner.
All right. What was one thing that your sponsor said or did that caught your attention? Because you all said you weren't looking for a move, right? That was something that was consistent. Adrian, we just talked outside. You were talking to a top producer who said he was happy. That should not stop the conversation, right? So what is one thing that your sponsor said or did that caught your attention?
Well, Moody kept calling me. I was, in the beginning I was a little resistant to it because I wasn't looking for a change. However, so I ended up coming over in March. We started having conversations at the end of February. I was happy, but I had sat down with my CPA back in November, and he said, "Do you realize that you've paid your brokerage $114,000? No judgment, you guys cannot judge me. $114,000 on top of the marketing expenses that you paid them. So that kind of stuck in the back of my head. I had been approached before by EXP, from agents in EXP, but when I spoke with Mike and Hamadi, they just really, really broke it down for me, and they really took more of a personal approach and how it was going to affect my business. And like you, I didn't really understand the revenue share and the stock option in the beginning, but I did know that, okay, do I want to pay over $100,000 every year into this brokerage, or do I want to pay $16,000 at my level of production? I'm going to get that back in stock award. And it was just a no-brainer. So you guys just really were so good at explaining that and taking time with me. I must have called Micah like 10 times. I had a lot.
She was at my
questions.
house in 2 weeks, guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a lot of questions. It was a big move for me. I had a team, so with my team, it was, we're either going to all be on board, so we were having a ton of meetings. Everybody had to feel comfortable with it. So I knew it wasn't just going to affect my life. If it was the wrong or right decision, it was going to affect 5 other families. So I really had to dig in as a leader and make sure that I was asking all the questions so I could go back to my team. So they were just very good at walking us through that.
Thank you. And Jason, can you stand up real quick? So Jason is actually Jaybee's sponsor. Not to put you on the spot. So Jason was at our last mastermind. This is how masterminds like this can change your life. And we were at dinner, and we asked him who he wanted to give a call. And he mentioned Jaybee, but he hadn't given her a call yet. I said, walk away from dinner and go give her a call. He called her, she didn't answer, but she called him back. And he got her on the phone with Moody. So he knew exactly what he needed to do. He just joined. So even though he wasn't explaining EXP, he knew to leverage and who to get on the phone. So congratulations, Jason.
I just want to say something to all of you guys. She reached out to me. She actually put a question out there.
Come over here, because if I go in front of that speaker, it'll buzz at me.
All right, so Jaybee actually posted on Facebook in one of the groups that we're in, who has ever left EXP? And just a little bit about it, I did join EXP a few years ago. I didn't really I had a younger, well, we were both new in real estate, both agents, so what we didn't know, we didn't know. Your circle, your sphere is so important. That is one of the most important things I can say that we all have in common in this room, right? It is so important because JB reached out and said, who has ever left EXP, right? I'm not a good explainer of EXP, right? Especially at that point, right? I'm learning, that's why I'm here. But JB is a freaking rock star, and I knew that. We've had a relationship, we were at different brokerages together, and whenever she asked me that, I was just transparent, right? I wasn't trying to sell her. That's not what it was about. It was a friend, right? I was sharing the information, and that's something that I took away from that whole meeting, is because I just literally said, okay, this is what I experienced, and was totally honest with her. And like Hamudi, you know, he said, just make the call. So I did. I talked to her for 45 minutes or so. I had people waiting on me, and I'm like, oh my God, I just had a great conversation with JB. And I knew she was going to have questions, and there's going to be agents that have questions, but just utilize your upline. You know, that's what I did, and it's paid off because I've got a rock star agent with me, and she does amazing work. She's just a great mentor and everything else that you can think of. So I just want to share that if you don't feel comfortable, get with someone that does, and obviously we have that with you guys.
And I know we said upline, one of the words that we love to use is senior partner. Everybody write that down. Senior partner, so start with your sponsor, work your way up, and then if you need Hamudi and I, we're always here for a phone call. So same question, Rob, what was the one thing that your sponsor said or did that caught your attention?
Yeah, probably the same as same answer as the first question. It was being able to keep all of my money.
Not a bad thing.
For me, I understood the model right away because I was with Keller Williams, and I was told that Glenn Sanford was with Keller Williams and his story and how he changed all of the things about Keller Williams that didn't really work. And I knew I had to go. I knew I was going to go. It just took me a while to get there.
I love it. So third question here, were you looking for a change or were you happy and saw something in EXP? I think we've already answered that. If you have anything different?
Not really. I was very happy. I mean, like I said, I had been aware that I was giving the brokerage a lot of money. I kind of sat back and analyzed, okay, are they giving me business? What am I actually getting for that? You know, not much. I mean, they're a great company, but there was really no value. So no, I was not looking for a change when I found EXP.
Yeah, definitely not. I had been with Coldmaker for 20 years, and I kind of thought all brokerages were relatively close on kind of what you paid, and had never done the math, and was totally shocked. But again, I think a little piece of it might have had to do with timing. The lady that owned the franchise was in her 80s. We thought that she probably was starting to get dementia. She was talking about bringing her 40-year-old kid that had a drug problem and never had a job into the company. So my wheels were turning in my head that, you know, stuff's about to hit the fan here. But they had called at least 5 times and I wouldn't even take the meeting because nobody was at EXP in Springfield. I had never heard of it. And I literally went just so they would stop calling. And it only took the one lunch, and we went back to the office that day. Stacy was up on a screen with me. She's my business partner. And we just talked about how it had to happen and how it was going to happen and what we had to do to get things going. And I think within 6 weeks, I was on EXP. She stayed behind for another 6 weeks just to kind of close out business. But yeah, luckily I had a great team that was 100% behind me that said, we're with you, whatever you want to do. they trusted me, and that was scary because I
No
was
pressure.
just going on faith, I guess, and they were going on the hope that I knew what I was doing, but it all worked out.
So how many of you made a call yesterday that didn't answer? Raise your hand. Are we gonna try to call them again?
Yeah.
You got it? All right.
What they say got your attention.
What they say?
Were you looking for a change, or were you happy and saw something you didn't see?
Well, I already mentioned that I was looking to go back to corporate America possibly,
Yep.
so I was weighing my options, yeah.
Perfect. What was your biggest obstacle or objection before you joined?
It took me a while to understand the model. It's a lot of information. Really, it just took, there's so many components, and I just didn't understand it. I had a general knowledge of it, but I didn't understand it like I understand it now, living it. That's pretty much it.
So for me, the issue wasn't really 100% EXP. Like I said, I didn't really believe everything, but it was enough that I went ahead with it. My issue was that I had heard Colo Baker's the best, the biggest, the oldest, the most wonderful for 20 years, so that's what was in my head. And I had it in my head that all of my business and my clients were coming to me because I was part of this amazing #1 company, biggest company, oldest company.
That's what they
Who cares
told
how
you.
old you are? That's crazy. But yeah, so I was like, are all of my clients gonna come with me if I'm out by myself with this company that nobody's ever heard of? And fortunately they did, but that was a huge hesitation for me. But one of the things that I guess caught my attention was EXP lets you brand yourself and wants you to brand yourself and allows you to brand yourself and helps you brand yourself. And I realized we had kind of been trying to do that at Colo Baker, but had really been held back because they push Colo Baker so much. And I just didn't realize how much they were holding us back until I heard about EXP.
Great.
I didn't really have any objections up front. I don't think I felt like I really had to do my due diligence, which is not really in my personality. I'm pretty much like a jump and run kind of person, but after what I had been through at Keller Williams and then at the boutique company that I was supposed to be an owner of, I felt like I really had to dive in and do a bunch of due diligence, and there just wasn't a lot of people to ask. But my good friends out of the Lake of the Ozarks who started EXP in Missouri, and Micah, who was so incredibly patient with me. She was always there when I called, listened to all my crazy stories. I couldn't have moved without Micah. My hesitation wasn't really an objection, it was a hesitation. I wanted to get an appointment with my broker owner to try to get her to move her company to EXP, because overnight they would be multimillionaires, but they're still doing their thing, so it's okay.
I remember you waited a little bit trying to.
It took me 6 weeks to get an appointment with her because she kept avoiding me.
Are her Lake of the Ozarks people my Lake of the Ozarks people?
Yeah,
Oh.
they got the same sponsors. All right. Real quick, what's your favorite thing about the company? What excites you the most?
The rev share. Really, it is the rev share. I think that is, I love getting more of my money. I mean, that was very exciting. But what's most exciting to me is the fact that I actually have a retirement and exit strategy. And that's dependent on how hard I want to work. I think everybody in this room works very, very hard in the real estate business. And that's great. But that never ends. The second you stop working, your income stops on a dime. So I think with revenue share, and not only the revenue share that it benefits me in the income, I love that I actually get to help agents grow their business. I mean, I have a team. I love helping agents. I love taking a new agent and helping them grow. So it's just a win-win. So that would be it.
So my answer is evolving. When I started EXP, it was being able to keep all of my own money. Prior to coming to this event, it was the stock. Short, funny stock story. We had been paying Coldmaker 11% of our commission. Actually, we paid Coldmaker $1,000 a month to be paying them also 11% of our commission. So whenever we came over to EXP, and we had the opportunity at the time to get the stock at a 20% discount, they could take 5% of your commission check, purchase the stock at a 20% discount. They were like, if we're paying Coldmaker 11%, why would we not pay ourselves 5% and make 20% on our money the first day? That's crazy. We're in. So
Which now it's 10%, isn't it?
now it's 10, I'm sorry to say, but I'm very happy it was 20 then. So when I came over, Stacy stayed behind, I came over, our business address was Coldmaker. Well, shortly after we came over, Coldmaker shut down, totally unrelated, but it went away in a matter of 3 months after us leaving. Well, we are I'm really a bad manager. We never changed our address with EXP. So everything EXP ever sent us went to this dead address. So fast forward 2 years later, everybody's Facebook posts are like, oh my God, look at the EXP stock, it's going crazy, we're rich. Stacy came to me and she said, don't we have EXP stock? I said, we should. We've been paying in for like 2 years. We had over $1 million of EXP stock.
Oh my
God! It was crazy. I mean, it's embarrassing to say, oh, I forgot I had $1 million. No, I didn't even know I had $1 million.
Wait, can you say that?
No big deal.
It was crazy. So then it was like every day, what's stock doing? All day long. We all had our stock tickers on our laptops. I have it on my watch. I have it on my phone. So 20 years at Coldmaker, we left with nothing. Now almost 3 years at EXP, we have almost $2 million worth of stock, and the stock's at half of what it was 6 months ago. So to say that this company has changed my life is an understatement. So back to the question, originally it was keeping all my own money. Prior to coming here, it was the stock because it's life-changing. I've started buying lake properties that I can Airbnb. Originally I bought it because I wanted a lake house, but I knew with the way I worked, I couldn't really go to the lake every weekend. So why not have it be an Airbnb, then I could use it when I want, and it's making money when I don't. Now I'm buying lots of them because they work. And I'm not using any of my EXP stock money, but it's given me the comfortability, I think I made that word up, to spend my other monies to make investments that I never would have relinquished that money before. So now that I've been here, my new thing is going to be RevShare. My team's going to focus on it more, I'm going to focus on it more, Stacy's going to focus on it more.
She doesn't even know yet.
She doesn't know yet, but she's going to. Yeah.
Can we give him a round of applause? I mean, and I know there's many of us that have similar stories because I've heard them. It's just incredible.
I was trying to think what's the thing that excites me the most. One thing that I can tell you that it was kind of a disappointment for me, not to be a downer, but I truly said EXP has made real estate fun again. I did not know that Gene Frederick had that trademarked. And I'm like,
It's right behind you here.
I know, it's everywhere. Like, I said that. That's what I was saying to all of my friends. Like, real estate is fun again. Because if you have a buyer, you're gonna take them to show a bunch of properties that are listed by other agents, you can talk to those agents. If you have a seller, you're gonna meet a bunch of the agents because they're gonna bring the buyers, and everything you did meant something, was an opportunity with EXP. Every deal you did, you got closer to your cap, because it's a small cap, and when you reach your cap, then you reach for Icon, and when you hit Icon, you get your $16,000 back. I mean, everywhere I turned, there was an opportunity for growth and excitement, and it's just so fun. It just really lit my whole life up about real estate again, and I was really burnt out. Now that I've had a really good year this year, and the stock is unbelievable, I was telling my roommate last night, one thing that EXP has done for me is it's given me the confidence to be very direct in a diplomatic way with my clients about this is the way I do it, this is the way I work, this is what we're gonna do, and that's it. And if you don't wanna do it, it's fine. She's thinking about taking on a client that is probably not gonna be a good experience. And it's like, I would tell this guy to, you know. So EXP has given me the confidence to say, I don't need to work with these people who abuse me anymore. It's,
So is EXP a pyramid?
no, it's not a pyramid.
And I heard of you that going back to the stock, I heard a few conversations say stock options. There is a difference between stock option and stock award. EXP actually gives stock awards. Quick disclaimer, stock is going to go up and down. This is not a forward statement. All right, what is the number one thing that you do to attract agents to EXP?
Number one thing? I think a lot of the people that I have talked to in the 5 months that I've been with EXP are top producers like myself. And so I know as a top producer, what I did for a lot of years is I'm so busy in the business, on the ground, showing listings, inspections, all that stuff, that I didn't really take a good look at the back end of my business and how I run it. We're so busy. We're running from one appointment to the other. It's chaos. And so one of the things that I bring to a lot of the people that I talk to is just simply awareness around that. I can't tell you how many top producers that I have spoken to that really don't even know what they paid the brokerage. And they're shocked, they can't believe it. And so those are the conversations that I'm having. You know, we talked yesterday about our agent avatar, and I think those top agents, that's who I've kind of gravitated to. And so those are the conversations, and then just simply sharing it every chance that I get. And what I have found the most beneficial is leveraging it on social media.
Absolutely.
Well, I don't do much, and I've learned from just a couple of days here that I'm definitely not doing enough. But what I've decided to do, I'm going to start going after broker owners. One of the appointments I set yesterday was with the gentleman that basically took over the Coldwell Banker franchise. He was my broker at Coldwell Banker, not the owner broker, but a broker. And whenever it collapsed, most of them went with him just because it was the easy thing to do. Several of them came with us just because we were us, but most of them went with him. So I don't utilize the social media because in our market, the agents have it used to always be Keller Williams was recruiting and drinking the Kool-Aid and just hounding people, and now in our market, the EXP agents kind of have that rap. So I'm kind of the mouse in the corner that doesn't get out there and push it like they do. But everybody's got a different personality, and that's not my personality, but I'm going to figure out a way to make it work, I guess.
I'm probably more like Rob. I want to do more. It's not an excuse. I just had a big year this year and couldn't, I mean, just
500,000 GCI?
yeah, I mean, and it's great, and if I want that again next year, I'm gonna have to sell a lot of listings or attract a bunch of agents. And so the market is kind of slowing down for me right now, and so this could not have happened at a better time, and so I'm making calls, I'm getting appointments, it's really fun. And people are really receptive.
I want to piggyback off of that because it's one thing that Tony Robbins talked about last week. The market's been hot, right? And are you guys in agreement with
Yes.
me? All over the country. Guys, it's going to change. If you've been selling houses and you're doing well, no offense, anybody can get their license and do well right now. It's going to change. Winter is coming, the season of business. We know that real estate goes up and down, it's a cycle. So are you guys preparing yourself for that change? I was at a Tony Robbins event, Business Mastery, last January. Tony said winter is coming. COVID hit the next month. Well, it really, exploded. Did winter come?
Yeah.
So we were preparing ourselves and we didn't even know about COVID yet. That's going to happen. The market is going to change. Are you guys ready? Did you want to add anything to, I thought I was getting off. All right, last question here, and we might only take 2 questions after this just because for the sake of time. Do you do anything special to support agents that are joining your group?
So every Monday at 9:30, we have just a mastermind call with everybody in my organization. And then once a month, we have like a networking lunch. We'll have it sponsored and we'll go somewhere fun and just kind of get to know each other. I think it's important in Tulsa, there's not a big community yet of EXP agents. So the people that I've brought on, I want them to feel like there is a local community as well. So we just try to do events together, those network lunches, and then we are on a call once a week.
So if it's not big there yet, it's opportunity, right?
Yes,
Tell them how you look at it.
Challenge accepted.
So we're gonna do more, but I have a brick and mortar space right now, and just because I came from that go to work every day mentality, I had a team, I didn't really trust my team to be working from home, that just seemed like couch potato stuff to me, but I'm getting there. But we have a brick and mortar building, we have a conference room, we have office space, and anybody that signs up under me can use the conference room, can use my assistant to some degree, can make copies, can meet clients, and there's a workspace, that kind of thing for them as well.
Their office is beautiful, by the way, so if you're ever in the area, stop by.
I take their calls whenever they need me. I have a full-time assistant that they have access to, and they do utilize her and her services. And I don't do anything quite yet for my team.
Is that gonna change? She said yes, so any ideas for me?
Maybe if they deserve it.
Oh,
No, they do, they're awesome. No, this has been a great jumpstart for us working as a team together, so.
that's why we're doing this, right? To get some ideas of what other groups are doing, am I right?
Yeah, and this wasn't a question, but it was something I think you said we were gonna touch on here is the challenge, and maybe Brent Gove is gonna work on this, the challenge for top agents to figure out the transition to get, work in the time to attract the agents.
Right, and I definitely want Brent and Veronica today to hit on that because they're both still in production. So they'll be great ones. We got time for just 2 questions, real brief, 2 questions. Anybody?
I just want to make a statement. He doesn't have a problem with you saying making real estate more fun again. I mean, everybody says that.
I mean, not that I know, I'm aware of, but.
No, I think it's just like duplicate and rip off, right?
Right, they had it all over the convention. Jose?
Yeah, I have a question for, as far as converting people who are used to working in brick and mortar, do you get any resistance with that as far as agent attraction?
Converting agents that are used to brick and mortar.
Yes. I don't really have a good response to that, but I have had some resistance, and I just talk about the cloud and access to my office, and so far it's worked.
So you brought on a solution. And we are going to go over some objections later today. But you
Good.
answered that solution by having an office, which,
Right.
you know, in some states is an option. One more question? Nobody? Awesome, let's give him a round of applause.